Hello, this is Victor Santana with StockHunters.com for Wednesday, September 21st. And what a day today. Let's take a quick look and see what has occurred. And we're looking at the chart of the U.S. total market, TMW, which is the ETF's ticker symbol. Each candle representing 1 day of trading. And we have the 150, 18, and 8 simple moving average here as reference is where the price movement is occurring. And down here we got two indicators, the RSI and the MACD. Okay, we're looking here and you can see we had a strong down day, a 4.4% on this TMW, the total U.S. market. RSI, you can see it's now reaching down here in the getting ready for the setup zone, so we could probably see it come down a little bit further before we get some kind of bounce. But for now, it looks like it's still coming in for the setup, and of course the trigger's not ready yet. Because the bar is still red down here, the histogram bar, and you can see the reading is negative, the red as well. So for now, as far as swing trade, we're just going to wait until this pulls back and look for new entry points here. So let's go ahead and break this down into the individual indices and see what they look like. We're looking at the Dow, DIA, and as I was explaining, we have these trend lines here, and the top one that was forming a wedge, and the chances were that was going to break down based on the reaching the oversold and now heading downward on the RSI, and the MACD trend line was also heading down as well with a virtually flat bar as of yesterday here. So I was favoring more down to the downside rather than the breakout, and sure enough we got the breakdown here. So RSI shows that it's getting near the oversold area to be ready for the setup, and after that we'll look for the trigger signal. Now once it reaches down in here, it could be something similar to this here, where it would take several days before we get the setup in here. Now, I don't think it's going to be this drastic, but we can expect it to head down at least right here as a double bottom since this last August 9th. So we'll see how that works. We'll let the markets tell us what it wants to do. Now let's go to the S&P. Pretty much the same story here. We had this trend line, we had the breakdown, we also had that wedge formation here, not quite as tight, but we had a similar story here on the RSI and MACD. And let's go to the Nasdaq, which was doing the best, and based on this here, we had kind of like a channel going up. So the RSI has rolled over, has not reached to the oversold area, and the MACD. So we're still potentially waiting for this to reach down here, which could be our target spot here, at least for the moment, and we'll see how that reacts, if it's going to cut right through it or it's going to bounce at this line like these other two times here. However, since it's been tagging it several times, the more you tag it, the weaker it gets, and most likely it's going to break through. If it breaks through, we could expect it to reach down here in the $52 area, or worst case scenario 50. But I think more realistically we're going to be seeing down here before we see a bounce. Russell small caps. This one had a pretty weak formation, didn't really know what it was going to do. We did kind of have a little trend line here and a flat here. So it hasn't reached here. We do think it's going to tag it and possibly break down, maybe not necessarily in the first try, but we are in the oversold, and we are now under the 0 line here on the MACD with the red bar. So we'll just have to watch and see. Now let's go and look at the global stocks, the weakest of them all. And as you can see, we got this triangle formation here. Actually two types. So we had this one here with this one coming in, and then we also had a wider one coming in, and sure enough it broke down. We are now in the oversold area, in the setup zone, so we just have to be ready and wait for the trigger based on this here. Alright, so pretty much everything weak. We may get maybe a small little sideways bounce, but chances are global may reach 52 down in this area as well. Okay, now let's go and look at see what positions has closed, and I'm trying to look here as of today. Okay, no, we did not get anything triggered out. Let me just review over what triggered yesterday. AEA, I went ahead and updated. We did get a 5.8% loss based on the entry here, and we tightened our stop from here to here, so we have a 5.8 loss here. And then the other one we got out of is SLW, and this one here we entered in this area here, and then we sold out yesterday. Now looking at today, it was all the way up here, and I was thinking, gosh, should have waited one more day, but then look, it pulled all the way back down. So those who are fortunate enough to keep an eye during the day may have stayed on longer, but due to the way my swing trades are, and just doing this during the early mornings or at the time of my lunch, I don't have the luxury of monitoring it all day, so that's why I played it more conservative. But we got this, and we got out with a 2.6% gain on this one. Alright, now let's see what we have going on right now. And we did get triggered on DXD, which is short the Dow. I tweeted it, and because it was so strong, it went ahead and just went right through it before the end of the day. This was just a few minutes before the close of the bell, and sure enough it triggered us in, and we closed up slightly positive. So I got in at 1965, and we'll put our sell stops at 1840, 6.4%, which is down right here. We're looking at here, we're looking, we still potentially go up a little higher up in this area, plus we got the positive trigger here, the green bar. So based on that, that's why we went ahead and put an order to enter, and sure enough it triggered us right in. And let's look at an old trade that we've been going on, and actually it did not sell here. Let me just get rid of this here. That is incorrect. Okay, we entered here on the state, and it's trading. We have our exit here, so it's still within this range. Getting some resistance because we do have these two trend lines, plus this other third one here, the 50, the 20, and the 8, all tightening up in here, and that's going to cause major resistance. Now if it breaks through, we can probably see a good pop, but it's going to be hard to say. So we'll go ahead and monitor, or if actually we set your stop at 65.40. So let's do that, just to be the way the markets are acting. I would suggest doing that right there. Okay. All right. Now TVA, we got entered on that one yesterday. and here we continued on. We got that strong upsurge based on this breakout on this trend. Tomorrow we'll hopefully get the confirmation. If it closes above this trend line today, it would be an indication that it could continue up higher. And then FAZ, pretty much the same story. We went ahead and put an entry right above here to be extra conservative, and sure enough it just blasted through 14% for the whole day here. So we're in on this one, and also the same story with the trend line. If it close up here, which is probably going to be a no-brainer, it probably will, even if it retracts halfway, it's still up in this area. So this may turn out to be a good swing trade. And then see, we went over TZA, KC, FAZ, and DXD. Okay, so we got these 4 positions here in play, all pretty much to the short side, and pending. Okay, this one's still pending. Let me move this one over a little bit. Move this right over here so we keep an eye on it. Okay, AUQ. We put an entry up in this here area, and sure enough the market was too weak. This is a gold play. Didn't know if the gold was going to continue to go up or down, so we're right between here, kind of closer to the bottom side. We may be triggered out with a 7.8 loss, but we still got the green bars, but the momentums are getting smaller, the bars, so there's a chance it might close out tomorrow with a small acceptable risk, but that's the way the game is played. And then a new idea is shorting silver ZSL right here at 13, based on not today's close but yesterday's close, to be conservative, and with the exit of 1185, which is a 8.6, which is I thought I had it in here. Let's see, 1186. Oh, yeah, right here, right in this line. This the trend line that's just right over it. Okay, so it's going to be a tight here. Possible target right up here in this area, $15 range. So we'll just have to wait, watch, and see. RSI's continue to go up. Unfortunately, we didn't get in here at the setup and wait for the trigger right here, which would have caused us to put an order right above here. It didn't trigger, however, it did manage to trigger here and basically be in the trade, but such a long time. Usually I would just cancel it, but here we got this opportunity because of the market being so weak and the dollar being stronger. So dollar gets strong, silver should fall, which this inverse would cause this to go up. Hope I didn't confuse anybody. And that's pretty much it for now. Until next time, keep an eye on the markets, and as they say, stops goes in and emotions stay out. Take care.